Hey guys, we're live. It's Ted Bogert with the Ted Show. Little technical difficulties on my end, so we started just a few minutes late, but that's all right. It's worth the wait. We have Nisha Mandani on the show with Our Aim. Hi, Nisha. How are you?
Hi, Ted. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. I think your organization is amazing. Your journey is amazing. We're gonna talk about transforming lives through hope and empowerment. What a powerful topic. So before we get into all that, though, the audience always loves to know a little bit about you. So tell us a little bit about Nisha.
So Nisha was had a very humble beginning. Nisha lost her father when she was only 3 years old. She was raised by a mother. 50 years ago, in a small village, she worked like a man amongst the male-dominating society and raised 9 children. And Nisha has seen what an empowered woman can do magic. And when I came to America, I came with just $5 in the pocket and a baby in the womb. I had seen what the life can be the toughest at your end when you really have nothing in your favor. So in the snow of in the December in the snow time in New York, I would wait and take 3 bus transfers to go to my work. I would do 2 jobs and study, do my master's at the same time. So I had seen the toughest of the tough life, beginning in New York in America. And now, 34 years later, I feel like I'm living a dream life of most of the people on this earth. The blessed part about anything you do in life, Ted, is the 3 P's. To me, you need to have a passion. Anything that you do, have a genuine passion for what you do, and then be very pure. Have a purity of your consciousness, purity of your honesty in what you do. And then the last P is perseverance. All these 3 P's put together is the person who you become. Anything that you do in life is not going to come easy to you. There will be hurdles, there will be challenges. So when I started this foundation
I
about
have to ask you before you talk about the foundation. I want to know what made you want to come to the country? Whenever we have an immigrant on, I love to ask this question because I don't think people. Obviously, we're born here; we don't know any better. But when you come here, it is a different story, and there is usually a reason or a passion behind that.
I think America is a land of opportunity and land of dream that everyone in the world wants to come here. But I never thought that this dream will come true. When I was expecting my first baby about 34 years ago, my husband's brother, and my brothers were in America at that time, and they wanted me to come deliver the baby in America to have like a safe delivery because this was the child coming after 34 years in my family. So they wanted to make sure it's a healthy delivery. I came here to deliver the baby. Actually, it was a little uh, extension of my honeymoon because I immediately expected my baby right after the marriage. And this was kind of like a honeymoon and delivery at the same time. And I think 34 years later, I'm still honeymooning. I
I
decided
love
to stay
that.
back after I delivered the baby. It was very, very tough beginning. I mean, beginning few years were like, why did I come here? People think that the money grows on the trees in America, but that's not true.
You had to work super hard. Was it? I understand that. I imagine you get here, it's completely different culture, completely different world from where you came, and so to adapt to it and kind of figure out your way. It's not easy, folks. When you come here, it's just we are just not America. I feel like foreign countries, like if I go to another country, they're a little bit more amenable and helpful. And sometimes we tend to not be as forgiving of our immigrants. And so it's difficult for you when you're trying to learn an entirely new set of life.
Very, very true. Very true. Especially like in India when we were living. I mean, we had a life where you have maids at home and you didn't have to even pick up your plate after you eat food. And coming here, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing everything at home, you're working 2 jobs and you're studying at the same time and you're taking care of your kids and family. And I had 2 paying guests at the home in the beginning.
Wow.
So the life was like, I would have like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And After coming from college, like 11:30, I would take two buses to come home and walk about 1.5, 2 miles to get home at 12 o'clock at midnight, and then have my early start again at 5 o'clock. And mean that time, I have to make sure get up very early to get my baby ready to be dropped off at the babysitter, keep her food and everything ready, take my tiffins, cook for the people living at my home, the paying guests. So it was a journey, but I think the hardship is what makes you the person who you are.
I agree.
I think I wouldn't have appreciated the life what I have, and I wouldn't have done more for the foundation or for the people that I care for. All that came when I myself had gone through that journey. And I truly appreciate those days. I think those were my foundational days that made me the person who I am today.
Totally agree. And you also have a great story. Your kids can never say they had it any worse than you. You walked a mile and a half after you got off that bus.
Yes.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff, though. That's that resilience. That's that perseverance that you were talking about with the three P's. It's just it,
Absolutely.
and I think a lot of people have it, and then it just a lot of people don't, and you have to figure out your way around it. So you get into how do you get from that to our aim?
As from the very early beginning, somehow, they say that your body and your soul are the two entities live together. And I think the my part of the soul always was kind of connecting me, attracting me to the people who needed help. But due to circumstances and due to immaturity, still at the young age, still in the playful moods and teenager and all that, I never realized that part of me. But I always was closer to my maids at back home, and I was very close to my people who would come, the beggars. I would go sit with them, talk to them, share with them, donate, like give them food and everything. But this whole started when my older one was in high school, and he wanted to do the voluntary hours for the Bright Futures, and we made it as a family project, and we started adapting seniors to go do the grocery shopping for them. When we realized the bonding between the seniors and the teenagers was outstanding, and most of the seniors had no visitors for days, weeks, or months. We were the only
So
ones they
sad.
had. And when I saw that there's so many of them are in need of help, we adopted over a dozen. And our hands were full completely, but there were many more who wanted help. So we brought our my son's classmates, the friends, and the program started from there, grandkids program, and it expanded into thousands. So we had about thousands of children from high school. We partnered with Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, Pasco County school districts, and we expanded the program of adopting seniors because most of the seniors are very isolated. And the
Yes.
passion of helping people took me to Africa when I saw a 2-year-old carrying a bucket bigger than him.
All right, I'm gonna try. Okay, guys, this is a first for the TED Show. She has pictures, and so I want to see while she's speaking if I can put those up. Keep going, Nisha.
Sure. So the 2-year-old boy was carrying a bucket bigger than him all by himself on the street. I'm like, where are you going? It's like, my mom is sick and I have to go get water. I have to walk miles to get the water for her. This really opened my eyes when I found out that this woman, they walk 8 to 10 kilometers a day to get the water. They cross other villages to get the water. And sometimes it's not safe. They can get raped. They can get abused. They walk like without having a flip flop in the hot sun. But if they don't do it, they drink out of the puddles and they get sick with malaria. So
I
we
don't know if
started,
you can see it, but I did. The picture is there.
yes,
So it's a picture of
that's me
you
and
and
the
the
boy.
and that's the child.
That child has inspired me to start the projects in Africa. Yes.
I
So we
love that.
started doing the bore wells in villages where people don't have to walk anymore. It's like few footsteps from their homes. And I would say that the first bore well, when we started, it was a celebration. The whole village got together. They were dancing and singing, and they were praying to God that this we didn't even expect in our dreams that we will have a borewell in our village. So just a borewell alone, like a safe drinking water, was a reason for celebration for these villagers. So we started continuing building the bore wells, and as we realized, water was not the only problem. There are hundreds of other problems that we need to handle. We started doing the toilets. We started doing the women empowerment classes. So most of this woman has never been to school, has never been empowered They sit in their villages, they drink, they're bringing water, they're bringing, cutting the woods to cook. They're just kind of not understanding the power that they carry as a woman. I have seen that power in my mom. My mom had the power. She was not an educated woman. She was a farmer's daughter, but she was an empowered woman, and she was able to work in a male society and raise 9 children by making breads at home. She started
Wow.
making bread at home and sell it, and eventually she made a big bakery, and that bread was number one bread in the whole city. So that is the power of a woman. So this woman, we started giving them a sewing classes. They never know how to count. They don't know how, they never seen a sewing machine before. They never hold a scissor before. But now they got a UNICEF order to our sewing academy for 15,000 eco reusable sanitary pads. These women,
Wow.
they made those sanitary pads, and now we are delivering those pads to the UNICEF. So this is the accomplishment, this woman. When they got their first paycheck, when they took that money home, they literally were in tears. They said that this money, with this money now, our children will not sleep hungry. They will
Right.
have food before they hit the bed.
What was that like for you to see the change? Because it is a change. You can see them there's light bulbs that go off all in the process. When they learn a new thing, or they picked up the scissors for the first time and realized the power of what they could do with their own hands on their own. What was that like for you to watch that progress and that process?
You know, Ted, I live on those paychecks. Those are my paychecks. Those smiles, those empowerment stories, those are the money that I get to take with me, not only use in this world of as a happiness, as a just light up my life. And because of that, I get to do more and more and more and more. The blessed part is I'm not the only one. I cannot take the credit for all of that. I have tons of volunteers, I have tons of doctors, I have tons of friends, my families, everyone generously donates, generously volunteers. That's why we are able to impact in hundreds and thousands of lives. So far, our foundation is working in 7 countries, and we have impacted over 3 million people. Just in COVID alone, we have reached over 1.5 million lives that we have impacted. So we go
Unbelievable.
into these villages, which are 30, 40 kilometers away, and there is no clinic there. They have to walk 30 kilometers while they are sick, and there are no roads, there are no vehicles. And despite they're sick, they have to walk 30, 40 kilometers to come to the clinic. So we
Yet
have
they
a free
do.
clinic.
They do. They actually do it. I mean, I always call it world problems, the stuff that we deal with. They really have things that we take so for granted over here. Even whatever level you're at socioeconomically, what's going on over there, we haven't really experienced much of here in the country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, so we started the free clinic, free pharmacy, free ECDC education for the young children. We started the computer labs for the youths, because this is the only property in 40 kilometers diameter, in 40-kilometer radius. This is the only property that has a solar, that has electricity. These people live in pitch darkness. So as the sun goes down, all these girls and children have to go inside the house because it's not safe to be outdoors because it's pitch dark. So we started the solar programs of putting in people's homes. That is like you should see the pictures of these children. They're coming out and playing as if it's like a biggest blessing of their life to be able to go out and play when they have a solar lights. They're
Yes.
studying at night now because now they have solar. They don't have to just be indoors and be in darkness. So these are the small things are too big for them. These are the reasons of their life to celebrate. And
Yes.
we take them so granted with the blessings we have. So I'm telling you, no, Ted, the biggest blessings of my life is that I have an honor and opportunity to be part of their life. I feel that the motto of my life, I feel, is if you're blessed, it's your duty, it's your obligation to be blessing to others. And I
Totally
think
agree.
I am honored, and I'm truly blessed to have this honor to be part of their lives.
I believe that you can feel it. One of the reasons why I love to do a live show and I like to watch the reactions of the guests is because you can't make up that passion and love and care and compassion that you have when you're talking about the impact that you see that their lives are having because of what you all, your entire organization, are doing for them. What's up? How do people get involved in our aim? How can we help? How do people, what can people do? What are you looking for? What are some of the needs?
So, Ted, people can go on the website. It's ouraim.org, OURAIM.org. Ouraim.org has all the information about the foundation. They can donate over there. They can send an email to us if they like to volunteer. We are making a trip to Malawi again sometime in October, middle of October. Any doctors, any dentists, any nurses, anyone, any volunteers, any teachers, if they like to join, we would love to go have them. And I really feel that it's not about you have to travel. Even getting involved in any shape or form, even your well wishes, even your just contributions in any shape or form. So we have partnered with Rotary of Seven Springs, and they're matching our $1 to 5.5 times. So if
Wow,
anybody wants to donate, this is the best time to donate our foundation, because your dollar will go too far. It's very far, 5.5 times.
that's
It's going to
amazing.
multiply.
We
So if
will we'll share that that information and how to link up to that. Obviously, I've got your website scrolling along the bottom, but that's amazing. That's the time, guys, that you want to donate because somebody's matching up to 5.5 times. I mean, that's like free money for the best way, and more than free money. It's amazing, and the amount of impact, the greater impact they can do with that much more money is just, you just can't imagine. So I love that. All right. I have to ask you, because you are obviously such an influencer. You are such a positive influencer on the people that you come in contact with. What you're doing is changing lives and empowering people and giving people hope. See, I got all three words. I got both words in there. But who would you say has been your greatest influence? Who has made a big impact on you? Who has helped shape you?
it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes more than a country to raise a girl like me. And I think everybody who came into my life, including my family, friends, relatives, neighbors, my teachers, everyone, my donors, volunteers, well wishers, my husband, my children, I mean, everyone. But I look up to my mom every time I get into difficulty, every time I get into any hurdles, I think of her. 50 years ago, an uneducated lady in a male dominating society in a small village can fight to raise her 9 children and give them the best education she can. So I look up to her, I think about her, and she's my role model.
I love that. All right, you're a
But
joy.
Ted,
Thank
I
you
want
so
to
much
ask
for.
you a question.
Yes, please.
Thank you for having me, but I want to ask you, what drives you? Because you really are such an inspiration person that you bring speakers like me to bring our stories to the world. What inspires you? What makes you going?
It's a great question, so I'll answer it. Um, I think like you do. I feel like I have been so blessed in my life. And this is something that comes naturally to me that I didn't discover until I was like 3 years ago in my late 20s. Kidding. About 3 years ago, I discovered I loved this. And I'm like, okay, well, I can take this thing that I enjoy and I can share and spotlight all of the good that goes on in the world. And so, it's not all altruistic. It's a beautiful feeling to know that you're impacting a person who's impacting a lot of people like you. So it is 100% good for the soul. I love to see the faces of people and hear their stories and their journeys. And I know for a fact that people are moved and motivated and healed and inspired by the stories of the guests that come on the show. And so it's just a beautiful gift that I have been able to get and receive because I had a passion for trying to help people.
You're doing a wonderful job, Ted. Great
Thank you.
job. I'm so inspired and happy to hear about
Thank
you.
you.
Keep doing
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. We need more stories out there.
We want them, right? We want stories. I want to know. People want to know. But I really do believe people are at heart good, and people want good news, and they want to celebrate the rest of humanity. And if you pay attention to the news for too long, you'll believe otherwise, but I don't believe that. So I think we need to celebrate people like you and your organization. We need to celebrate the people who have benefited from your organization and other organizations, and who they are going to benefit. Guys, this is a long-term generational impact that you make when you take care of people. Believe me, people, you may not see it in your lifetime, but you will definitely know that people are impacted, and it's going to change their lives.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you, Nisha Mandani. You were awesome. raim.org. I've also tagged Nisha in the post. You can reach out to her directly. She's amazing. You can go to the website. We're going to learn more about that 5.5 times more. So really, really consider donating, taking a look at what she's doing and her organization, all of her team are doing in the world. Thank you, Nisha, for being on.
Thank you, Ted, for having me.
All right. I enjoyed it. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow.